So a while ago I taught Metallica Nothing Else Matters a lot to a few of my students, and it's been a while, but I got a few requests for it. So I'm going to do my best to remember how I did it. So the first thing, you need to tune down a half step. So this needs to be E flat. This needs to be B flat. This needs to be G flat, D flat, A flat, in E flat, and then you can pull up the video in the tab in the description that this lesson's referencing. So I think the other version is in standard. So it's also, you gotta do some finger picking for this. You can do it with a pick, but it's much harder. So the beginning, you just want to go like this, and if you're not good at finger picking, just get really good at the beginning. So make sure you pull up the tab, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to communicate what to do. So you put your thumb down here, and you're going to go. So your thumb goes on the lowest one, and then you're going to pick up like that each string. So the E string, then you go to the G string, open B string, E string, back to B, and G. And if you want to try this with a pick, you can. It's just going to get harder later. So you do that 3 times. So make sure you look at the tab, because it's going to get a lot harder in a second. So then the last measure of this, you go. So that's the transition. You got to get up to 7 with your ring finger or pinky. Put it up there, so it's like 0, 0, 0, 0. You go to B, 7, and then there's a pinch, 0, 1, 7. And then you're going to do 7, pull off to 0. So one more time, the whole intro, and then the next measure is going to be hard after this. Do one more measure of that, and then kind of tricky, I noticed for my students, to do those 2 7s in a row. The next measure is a hard one to get perfect. I think what they're doing is going. So you're gonna go like this. You're gonna hit your thumb here, and then hit the G string, and then get your 3rd finger on 7, and with 2 fingers. Like pluck the top 2, and then put your pinky on 8, and then you're going to do a hammer on from 7 to 8, and pull off to 5, and then down to this chord. So this is a hard measure. So thumb down here, 0, 0, 7, 8. 0, 7, 0, 8, and then should be like, I remember having to do this with my students a lot. Hammer on, pull off. The tab actually says to bend and then slide down. You could try that too, but we didn't have very good luck getting a good sound out of that. The way we settled on was the way I'm showing it, which is hammer on, pull off, and then 7 to 5, and like kind of a slide down, and then to this 5, and then right into the next part. So let's do the next measure, and then we'll combine those two. And if this is really hard, I could make another video, like kind of put the tab on the screen. But this song's just pretty tough. So the next measure after that, you're going to put your pinky on 5, your ring finger right below it. So this is like 5, 5 on G and B. And then you hit the A string. So you're going to pinch, A and B string, then go down to the G, back up to the B string, and you're going to have to stretch the first finger over to 2 and do a pull off, and back to 5/5. So let me try to combine the measure before it with this. This one's pretty easy, that measure before it's a hard one. And that last 5, me and my students, the last 5 of that measure before, we were dropping that out when we played this, I remember. So you could drop that out. So let me do it again. Yeah, there we go. One more time. Those 2 measures are the hardest in the song, I think. So that's really tough, but just keep working at that part. After this, it's not that bad. So then we had the next measure after that is. So what you got to do is have 0 here on A string, and you pick up A string with 5/5 here still, 5 on G, on B, up to open E. And then you're gonna pluck like your thumb on A and these fingers on the top 3. And this finger's got to go to 2, so. And then it moves up to 3. Yeah, so this part goes. So what I had to do, I remember this now, with my students, we would go like this. We would practice it like this. First you got to make sure you can do that. So keeping these down, try to get your thumb on the A string and go. Yep, so you got to go these fingers here. So what I'm looking at is where you see 0, 2, 3 in the bass. So you got to hold down 5/5 right here. And then we had 3, 5, 5, 5, 3 pull off 0, 5, 5, and then you got to put your finger back down here. So it's a little weird, you got to move this finger up here to do the pull offs. You slide it up, and then you see a bunch of notes in a row, and you got to do a pull off hammer-on from 7/5/7. So you're hitting this D chord with E on top. And then so I play that whole intro. It's definitely tricky, so you can see it. Make sure you're tuned down a half step. So we got these zeros. Sloppy. I'll try to do it slower, but if you practice it a lot, it's pretty hard, but it's not crazy hard unless you've never done any finger picking. Then it's gonna be a real challenge. So I'll do it one more time slower. We got these open strings, and then the 7's gonna come in, pull off, hard measure. Right there, that last measure, I messed it up again. It should be. I'm adding like something else there. It should be. So you gotta do 7/5/7 pull off, otherwise it doesn't really feel right. And then the next part is a lot easier. So then you're going to do harmonics on 12, 12, 12, and you hit E in the bass. And then just open zeros. So make sure you look at the tab, you'll see in H. What they're saying to do are those natural harmonics. Which now pinch harmonics are like those kind of things. Look at that. When you get those sounds. I don't use them very much. And then natural harmonics are these ones. So we need natural harmonics on the 12th fret. So you hit 0 and then lay your third finger or pinky up there. And then we have the zeros. And the next part is kind of easy with the pick, but since we're already using our fingers, you could use your fingers too. So it's going to sound like this. It's using bar chords, it's using E minor, so that's 7, 9, 9, 8, 7. You're going to have this E in the bass. So this is an E minor bar chord, so you go E in the bass, and then you can put your thumb on the A string and like roll your fingers up. So it's pretty easy with your fingers. But this part is definitely easy with the pick. You could just go. And then you're going to go down to D major, 5, 7, 7, 7. And slide that shape. So this is this bar chord, 5, 7, 7, 7. You gotta lay that finger on 3 notes. Then go down to 3, 5, 5. This is C major. You do it again. Whoops. And then there's like a little variation of it. You can do it if you want. Whoops. So the variation is you go. Just sort of change the order of the notes. It's the same chord though. And then, so there you got to make sure when you're barring that you can hear this top note of the chord, which is kind of tricky because this finger needs to be up like that so it rings out. So it should be 5, 7, 7, 7, 5. So some of my students couldn't do that. So one trick you could do is just get rid of the bar like this and put these fingers on 7, 7. So you can get more on the tips of your fingers, but really you should learn how to do this. So then you go to a G major, which is 3, 5, 5, 4, 3, 3. And you do this little B major thing, 2, 5, 4. So I'll play that last section. So, whoops. And then back to the zeros. You'll see in parentheses they have like, what you can do if you want to do that is replace. You can replace the first beat of the last measure with that. So you can do that last part like. Oh, sorry, it should be. You gotta actually substitute that in for the first beat of the next measure. So that's that part. After that, the next part goes. Going on here is we have E minor chord, 0 in the bass. Pick up, you gotta pick up the notes, the lowest string, G string, B string, up to 3 up here, and then you go. It's kind of weird, the rhythm. You go to D major, 0, 2, 3, 2. And then you do a quick sus4 with your pinky. And then you keep your third finger here to go to the C9 chord. So these fingers go down, middle finger on 3, this is on 2. So, you do that again. Next time's a little different because we're going to have a B7 in there. So after you do that twice, C, C9, then you're going to go 0, 2, 3. So what we're doing is we're going up the bass into a G chord, B7, and at the end just strum B7. It says 2, 1, 2, 0, I just strum it. Then you go to E minor. So that's that. And then you're going to have E minor. And then it's going to go to C major for the next part. So you're on E minor for a little while. It doesn't say to do that actually. So after the B7 the last time, go to E minor, 0, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0. This isn't in the tab, so stay here for a little bit. And you'll hear C major, A major. Then you're going to go to D. So it's C major. So after the part before we had E minor. And you're going to hear C, A. So C is 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. A is 0, 2, 2, 2, 0. Then we go to D. You sus it out with your pinky on 3rd fret. Back to D, sus 2, C, A, D, sus. And the last one all of a sudden kind of cuts it off. D, E minor. It's kind of weird, it feels like it's going to keep going. So that's that part. That's pretty easy if you've run into sus4 and sus2 on a D chord before. The hardest part my students had with that is at first we didn't realize we needed to strum a little E minor after that B7, so watch out for that before you go C-A. Then there's this little interlude part, and it goes 12, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 17, 12. Then you slide your pinky down to 8. So notice I did that with a little bar here, and then just stretching my fingers out. So 12, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 17, 12, 8, 5, 5. This is C major. So it's kind of like if you ever play Stairway to Heaven, same thing. 8, 5, 5. That little shape comes up. We need this little A minor chord, 0, 1, 2. Now this part, I don't actually hear this when I listen to it. But you can just play it anyways, I just hear. And then I hear this, it's like there's a lot of stuff going on this part, so I can't really hear that, but I'll just play where it would fit. So. I think if you do a pause and then you do hammer on, sounds good. And you bend 12. Or should you do it 3 times? I don't really hear this either because there's a lot of stuff going on during this part of the song. So, one more time. This part's a little weird because there's so much stuff happening. Like, you can trust the tab, but I don't fully hear it, and it's hard to know exactly what's happening. So 12, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 17, 12, 8, 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 0, 5, 5, 8, 5, 5, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1. Then and then 12, 12, 14, 12, 15, 12, 17, 12, 855, 855, 855, 855, 012. And then I guess there's this at the end. Transitions back to this part. So anyways, that's as much as I kind of remember from this song, and I hope that was helpful as a start. It's a real tricky one. So if anyone has any questions, let me know. Alright, bye.